Yo, what's up? Today I got a quick and easy tutorial for you guys. I just made this while experimenting, and I thought it'd be a cool effect that's got a lot of versatility that you guys can use. And the nice thing about this effect is that it's procedural, so it's just going to be based on your base matte layer, so you can use even a logo if you wanted, or you can type anything you want. It's nice and easy. I just already went ahead and brought in a sky texture. I'll link that in the description, but you can use any background you want. It works pretty well. I do think it works a little bit better if you have a bit of a brighter background to bring in more of the whites and make it look more cloudy. Otherwise it'll kind of just look like smoke, but that's fine too if that's what you're going for. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in some text as our base matte layer. Like I said, you can use a logo. It just needs to be fully matte, like one color or one luma value, whatever. And if it's not already, I recommend filling it to white. First thing we're going to do here is we're going to give this text some animation and texture to make it look a bit more cloudy, right? We're going to go ahead and add turbulent displace, and we're going to just bring down the size to 15 and the complexity to 6, and then we're going to go ahead and alt click on the stopwatch next to evolution here, and we're going to type in an expression, time times 100. And if you don't know what that does, it essentially just animates it automatically over the course of the timeline. You can raise the number to make it faster or lower it to make it slower. It's your personal preference. Now we're going to bring in one more variation of turbulent displace. This one we're just going to set the size to 50. We're going to leave the complexity, and we're going to do that same expression on the evolution. So now we have our clouds kind of dynamically animated, and now what we're going to need to do is add a bit of texture to our text. So we're going to go ahead and bring in a solid here above our text, and we're going to bring in some fractal noise. Fractal noise is one of my favorite effects. It's extremely versatile. For now we're going to actually just leave this on our default settings, but we're going to put that same expression on the evolution, time times 100. And then what we're going to need to do is we're going to drag our track matte pick whip to the black solid from the text, and then we're going to go ahead and click this switch here to switch it to a luma matte, so we get kind of that transparent look. And now we're going to add an adjustment layer above everything, and we're going to add a fast box blur, and we're just going to bring this radius to about 3. Now you can kind of see that it's coming in here. We're going to go ahead and pre-compose this so that the fast box blur isn't affecting our bottom layer. Now the last thing we need to do is to give this a bit more detail so it just looks a bit more 3D. So we're going to go ahead and duplicate this layer, and we're going to add s_emboss on this layer. And we're just going to dial in one setting here. We're just going to set the bump scale to 15. And then we're going to bring in one more effect, fast box blur, and we're going to set that to 5 to kind of smoothen it out. And then once you've done that, go ahead and set the blending mode of this top layer to screen. And in my instance, I had to kind of bring down the exposure of the background a little bit for it to fully dial in. And if you wanted to like composite this onto a brighter background, if you had the same issue, you could just pre-compose these together and then track matte the texture to the sky, and then you can pre-compose these together and bring in your regular sky. And now you can see we've got a pretty nice realistic looking cloud effect. If you want to, you can dial in some of these settings. Like for example, I think our texture might be a bit too small, so we'll come back into the fractal noise, and we'll go ahead and set this scale to something like 200 maybe. And yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Yeah, it's a quick and easy effect. It's entirely procedural, as I said. If you wanted to change this text up, let's say just write my name, Jonah, you can see it completely adapts to the text. You can do logos, anything like that. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful, and hope y'all learned something.
We gonna be okay.